Royalties of peace in the storm, back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. How y'all doing today? Yes, it is another wonderful Wednesday. My water day. And today is August 23rd of 2023. What a beautiful day. 1 month advancing into the fall season. Makes me wonder how we observe the fall season. What is the fall season to you? Such that if we all have different understanding of this beautiful season, must we update ourselves to expect it? Advancing to the perfect peace, must we be like the cardinal points returning to the center? Should be expressing one mind. Perfect peace, our end goal must be achieved. Yes, if you are close of understanding that awareness of diagnosis seeking wellness is the fall season, you are on the right channel. But if you're one of those with my previous mindset of awareness of diagnosis seeking a complicated grief, it's only a slow process to awareness of perfect peace. You are still on the right channel. Must we be able to work together healthily with dignity and recover from the complicated states of our existence. Even the ones who are aware of their diagnosis seeking wellness are also struggling with a storm called peace still in the storm. Even the one who feels not at work yet is at work at mind. No one is stagnant. You might be either slow or you be of the mind of expected. You must not be fast. You must not be slow. But slowness is a process, an initial step to wellness. Yet do not become too fast. Fast can be very drastic onto our health, becoming arrogant. We're not trying to be of low self-esteem, neither of arrogance, but of humble pride. We must travel the road with dignity, with modesty. Yes, throughout the month, last month into this month, we've been trying to work with integrity. Integrity, all modesty, integrity, all morality. You might be at 88 on 100, or 99 on 100, or 1 on 100. We must be able to reach 100. And even at 100 of self, must remember the perfect integrity, which is us all at 100, meaning the one with 100 must be able to re-educate, meaning assist the one with 1 on 100 to reach 100. Have I been pleading? It is not a competition, but rather encouragement. It is not a competition, but cooperation. It is not a competition, but encouragement to perfect peace. No one left behind. No one left behind. Aware no one can give up on themselves. If you give up on someone else, you can never give up on yourself. Even when you go on coma, you wake up. The same reason why when we are asleep, we find ourselves waking up without waking up ourselves. Some call it automatic awakening. Some call it already programmed awakening. Some call it voluntarily, involuntarily. Involuntarily awakening is different from voluntarily closing your eyes and opening your eyes. The involuntary awakening or the programmed awakening. the pre-programmed awakening. Whatever that you call that ability of after giving up, finding yourself desiring to become worthy again, must be able to be expressed of expected understanding. Even the universal can achieve this worthy of self, like a broken glass into pieces. Even your piece more broken, you being able to put it together is proof that the whole can become one again. Yet it takes modesty. It takes grace, grace on self. Shadows give way, and we are traveling the road of peace in the storm back to peace that has no storm. The road of the fall must reach its perfection. The fall, the fall, the journey it is. The fall season expressing the journey, the difference between the one traveling and the journey, the difference between the traveler and the journey. You must be able to differentiate yourself from the journey, being the one who journey. Understanding, we have a signal called pain. Pain, the remorseful heart, should not be complicated. Complicated grief have we today. Pain that does not even exist. Rushing to the hospitals, of which the only pain we have is the remorseful heart to wellness, able to be achieved of self, able to self-heal. Integrity has already been given to us from origin. We are integrity. And when you fall short, it's the matter of recovering yourself. Like I said, the king with the crown. When the king is sick, must look unto the crown and remember, I made the crown and recover to who is the ruler, the king, the maker of the crown, and not the crown alone. The crown does not lead us, we lead the crown. Must the mind be of perfect peace to reflect, to be of expected for the crown to reflect the mind. It is the crown that reflects the mind. Looking like we are trying to reflect the crown, we'll reach the place of the crown reflecting the mind. We are perfect peace once we are of completion. Now we are looking more of like trying to reflect the crown. Looking at the sun, looks like impossible to become like the sun, that white. A true white sun. We have seen a true white sun than the orange sun or yellow sun or golden sun. This golden sun is according to sight. If you look outside, some will tell you the color I see is blue. Some will say, no, it's red. Color blindness, color blindness. We are experiencing a color blindness because of our falling short of nature. Different levels of the fall. Yet we can reach the perfect. After going to school and having the education of light, the primary colors, the secondary colors. The white light comes from black. Like I speak, the mind is black. You cannot see the mind, but you can hear the words I speak. Must we reverse the pain to wellness, such that when you sleep even in pain, the pain will wake you up like an alarm. The pain, the complications of a fallen glass is never known until of awareness of wellness seeking. You never feel the pain until you are at the place of recovery, such that when you begin to feel the pain, does not mean it's something new, but rather your recovery. It's time for us to acknowledge the expected. Yes, looking forward onto the month of the fall, onto the month that starts with the fall season. Fall this year starts September 23rd, which is amazing. I cannot believe how the fall season has become one of my favorite seasons compared to even Christmas. It's so much more of Christmas. It's a very, very interesting. I never thought of fall the way that I'm thinking of fall today. Because of growing up, I had the complicated side of what the fall season was, of a misunderstanding. And now, of the fullness of understanding, must we realize the creepiness should not be exaggerated. Must we go back to the basics? Some too weak of the mind, too scared of the fall, perceive the fall like the worst of ever, feeling like the journey is like I'm lost, I will never be found. Must they be recovered with reorientation? The need of reorientation to perfect. Cannot give up on each other. Such that even when we all are found and one is lost, it's like that pain that never lets you free. Having a party and someone else crying, the song is never completely right. No matter how happy you are, there's that point where you'll be like, I'm tired of that other noise over there. We must be able to comply healthily and recover to wellness. We'll talk more about the creepiness and the woods of a childhood understanding or of our weakness understanding, short of knowledge understanding, to the fullness of knowledge of who we are, integrity of origin, feeling despair. Despair is the journey. We must be able to differentiate between integrity and despair, not rejecting despair, but understanding despair is the journey, and we are integrity. We'll get to talk about the one who hears the one in the woods crying, should know it's not the one creepy, but only an alarm, like a rooster crowing in the morning to awaken us from sleep, and we are grateful to get into activities. Is the cry from the woods, must we be able to awaken into integrity? The cry from the woods, and our healing heals them. We'll talk more about such in the fall season. Like TLC will say, so I creep. Yeah, must we not creep more worse than the flesh that we are wearing already enough fall that we have? Enough of the creeping complicatedly, reversing to the healthy creepiness of us. Being human is creepy to the mind of integrity perfect, while it's only a journey and we reverse into perfect peace. We never stay at this state. We never stay in this state complicatedly. Now, it may seem like it's been a long, long time. 4.6 billions of years we have kept this living earth. It's creepy. Must we begin to realize why we have an end of the journey? Becoming of age should not be with gray hair, but of wisdom of the mind. Must we be able to cease from descending others down, but rather ascending? We must be able to express that knowledge strongly into our young ones so that they can be able to grow up expected. Yes, the Z generation has an alpha generation. The Z generation has an alpha generation. Must this alpha generation be the beta generation, the humble generation? So back to our video concerning laziness and attaining integrity. Our title of the lesson today is integrity versus laziness. Integrity versus laziness. If I did not say it in the beginning, it is at the title of this video. And what is that to us? After talking about integrity, understanding we are integrity, and then now talking about laziness. I did watch a video by Royalty Kensani Manisi. Royalty Kensani Manisi. How to exit your lazy era and become a diligent, godly woman. It was amazing how she spoke. She's young and she's of a younger generation than I, and I was so impressed of how enlightening we are. And we can even do greater than this if we really put ourselves together. We should not be finding answers alone. We find light very, very far from what we're supposed to be today. We should be able to really work together, just like how people come together and make the iPhone. and upgrade the iPhone. This is how we are supposed to come together and upgrade our integrity back to perfect. iPhone already existed. iPhone is the I, the perfect I. What we're doing now, the physical, is just figuratives of the a perfect I. Must be able to come together and really fulfill integrity of expected the mind, battlefield free. She enabled this beautiful video about the lazy era, and I was so impressed. It's more of emphasizing on all the good that we have, and how she puts it together was so great. And I really felt energized to begin this new academic year. September is at the door, so going back to school, all the young ones going back to school, it's time to really enforce integrity of wellness of expected. Now, laziness is one of the very great topic at this time to encourage the young ones to be of expected. Must they be able to differentiate between being too fast and being slow? Laziness is only an initial step, and if you've passed the initial step, you should be able to keep on advancing. That when you're feeling like you're still going back to the initial step, you should be asking yourself, what am I missing? What am I missing? Am I scared? Your anxiety, what is it that I'm anxious about that is bringing me back to this initial step of recovery? Laziness is not a crime. Laziness is not condemned. It's just the matter of awareness of the initial state of wellness. But if you have already been in progress to wellness, past the initial step, and feeling like still at the initial phase, you must be able to find out, what is it that I'm anxious about? And you're recovering from what you're anxious about will help you recover of expected, knowing that if it's arrogance, if you're scared of becoming arrogant, maybe you've reached an area where you're faced with those who are struggling with arrogance, and you're trying to stabilize yourself, and you find yourself mixing up with the initial step, and being lazy is what they call it. The initial step of wellness is what it is. Putting the positive mind to children will help them recover very, very early. Because when you tell a child you're so lazy, the child feels so down and lost and rejected, of which it only means you're feeling like going back to the initial step of wellness. It's all about wellness, nothing else. We've been thinking about the complicated grief to be all that we have. And that's why we struggle with this load of complications. Those going into the grave make becoming stones. We becoming stones, unable to walk, unable to do anything, feeling not confident. After one has done so much in this life, the next minute they feel like they haven't even experienced life at all. You will not believe someone you are praising and praising of. Oh my goodness, he's the greatest man on earth. Oh my goodness, his name is in the book, in the righteous book of the nobles and all that. But if you go to this one and talk with them, they are like the most helpless being on earth, and you're wondering of what is wrong with him. It's time for us to begin to realize the need to emphasize integrity very early in life, and what laziness is only an initial step to wellness, and not a rejected of self, but only an awareness of something trying to get in. Is it anxiousness about someone else struggling that I'm trying to carry upon me? Must I be able to differentiate myself the priority of wellness before attending to one, the center of care? True, we care about everyone. They are very important. They are very vital. But without you being vital first, how would they be vital? Do not lose yourself of expected before you heal the one needing the expectation of wellness. Laziness, our laziness towards integrity, feeling not worthy, feeling short, feeling like pretending your best, never looking of expected, feels like you're lazy. When laziness is only the retardation of self, the condemnation of self. If you're one who wakes up very early in the morning, 6 a.m., and you're out of your bed and you go to work and you return, and one who wakes up at 10 or 12 in the day and goes to work 4 hours. You working 8 hours and the other working 4 hours. What is the difference between the two of you? What is laziness? Will you tell them upgrade your hours to 8 hours, not only 4 hours? That's being lazy. When your 8 hours is full of complications, it's full of dropping money on the road for you to achieve your 8 hours of income. Your outcome at the end never satisfies the universal that we need. And then you feel depressed. You feel depressed and lost and trying to fit in with the initial step back again to the beginning. Must we be able to try to understand how we travel this road? Integrity. Integrity is already our origin. A baby may not understand that, which is why we have to keep on encouraging them to hold on to the expected that they are. Because once you realize you've fallen, it's either you become of complicated grief. The babies are struggling with complicated grief, is why we call them babies. But looking forward to a progress. And I said that even the state of complicated grief is only an initial step of wellness. Very, 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 very fragile initial step of wellness is what the complicated grief is. You do not want to reach the place of very, very the fragility of the initial step of integrity. Recovering. Your awareness of integrity being at the very, very fragile stage of initial recovery can be very, very, very complicated. Must you stay of expected with humble pride while you need those around you that can encourage you to wellness? A child who is raised by parents who care and nurture them of expected will achieve their wellness early as possible. Does not mean the child who is raised by one who doesn't really care or who is still struggling. Not being caring is because you are still struggling with your initial step of wellness. What we call not caring does not mean one is cruel. I'm sorry. It's very, very sad how we've been talking about things such that we really have a lot to really work upon in order for us to get back again to balance, being humans, how we address our words. Negative words are not rejected words. They are very, very fragile words, very important words. We cannot do away with them. But how we define them will matter, especially to the young generations today. We're going back to school is why I'm trying to bring this video for us to understand the need for integrity to be of expected, to avoid the laziness, to achieve integrity. She, Royalty Kenzani Nisi was talking about ants, how they are always busy and nice and in being productive. We humans should also be productive expected, but we are not ants. Must we be cleaner than ants? We must be able to understand the different levels. We cannot go crawling on the ground like ants to be like ants because she said, let's look at ants. When we give examples, we should be able to apply them of expected of our levels. Trying to look at a shoemaker being an iPod maker or being a cake baker is are all different people. If you are making shoes, it's different from baking cake for someone to eat. How we apply the knowledge of each other of productivity should matter with cleanliness is next to godliness. Very, very important to keep clean. Very, very important to keep clean. Must we emphasize the need of healthy integrity? Laziness does not mean you should be too fast. Laziness only meaning the initial step of integrity while already in progress to integrity. Perfect. Laziness is more of like the very, very fragile state of the initial step. I hope this helps us to really grasp a little of what I'm trying to express concerning our journey to perfect peace. Please, we are humble beings. I know that we struggle a lot with complications because of our divisions, and even dividing more and more can be so much jeopardy to others, can be so much jeopardy to others. Some are so scared, like, oh my goodness, who's going to be the next one to break again into more pieces? Some are even unable to walk because they are scared of the next one that is going to break it. Of, oh my goodness, if I make this now and someone breaks it, it's going to hurt them and also hurt me. It's going to hurt their feeling and also help me. Should I really continue? Should I really be able to make this greatness right now? Or should I wait until when everyone is understanding what integrity is supposed to be? Some really have a lot to put on the plate, a lot of greatness to put on the plate, but are so scared because they don't know who is coming next, what piece is going to break into more pieces and be a jeopardy on what we're about to make. If it's going to be a bubble, hope there will be no sharp ends that will puff the bubble. It's time for us to work with integrity so that we reduce the laziness in our bones, the laziness in our midst, the bone, our bond. Our bond into perfect should not be broken again into the initial, back again to the initial state. We are already in progress. Must we really be genuine to self and to the universal of us? Our genuinity should not only be of self, but also of the universal. Focus on yourself, but also having a glance of the universal. True, it's not easy to multitask because the self is already in so many pieces that you're trying to put together. So the multitasking of yourself is the priority, yet the center is our universal. Nursing care says the patient is the center of care. The patient is very, very important. Once you are taking care of the patient, you have to make sure it's all about the patient. Why are they saying that? Because you've already taken care of yourself before coming before the patient. You cannot go stand before the patient, the universal, and then trying to work on yourself. How does that even apply? That is despair, laziness. That's despair is awareness of diagnosis, seeking wellness, the initial step of integrity. Same with laziness, the symptoms. Laziness is only the initial step of the presentation of the complicated grief, the fragile state of despair is laziness. I hope this helps us to reflect and put ourselves together. Just a little piece to help us grow of greater, of reflecting and thinking, reflecting and healthily thinking into wellness perfect. No one left behind. No one left behind. I hope this video today honor us. Looking forward to the fall season, our great season. After the fall season is a very great season for us. I hope we will all be able to achieve much better of this beautiful season that we have and have been shying away from it because of our misunderstandings. Thank you for watching today. Royalties of Peace in the storm. Back to peace that has no storm, looking unto perfect peace.